thinking about Vlogmas and like what I actually want to do, and I feel like my apartment is really messy. It's not like atrocious, but I am avoiding it. So anyway, as I have literally 1,000 things to do for work in general with just like filming content and creating, so I'm trying to get this all done. So it is 9:32 right now. I'm trying to get this all done before 12. Simply don't want to, because no, and because no, and because no, but whatever, it's fine. Come along with me. Oh dear. Ah! I honestly need liquid death to survive this because anyway. Let's go.
Oh, that breaks my heart. That you thought you ever had it. No, you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with your bitch. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will never, ever, ever, ever.
Okay, it's the next day and I'm really excited to just have this like finally cleaned, y'all. Like, it feels so good for my space to finally be clean. And then there's something that I want to show you, because in the rest of this vlog, I have a feeling that I want to talk about this wall that I'm building, and I feel like really excited because I'm just gonna like expand into it, especially with 2026. Okay, so I showed you that first half just because I felt like resetting everything kind of like definitely set the tone for this new season. And when we're thinking of vision boards, I feel like we need to have clear heads, clear space, clear mind. So I want to show you guys what I did with my last year's vision board. I put a lot of depth into this one. Like, it was actually insane how much time I took with this one particularly, but because it had, I kind of put them in categories. I made this one my 6th month, but it kind of ended up being my year because one, I wanted to move to Vegas. This is the apartment that I thought I was going to move into, but found a building completely different. I wanted to meditate, have a certain amount of income. I wanted to eat super clean, eat more at home, have body goals, be more on, like with vlogging. Everything kind of sat here, and especially with like the check from the universe. But I made this so intentionally with everything that I wanted to build. But then also the important thing was that I wrote out a contract on the back. When I wrote this, I have 2 vision boards for 2025. I had one that was like kind of like bigger goals, like more like open, and then I also had this one. I think this year I'm gonna approach it differently because as I kind of showed you guys on my wall, one, I think I'm probably gonna make like 3 different vision boards. I'm going to make one with my mom, and then I'm gonna make one with one of my best friends while I'm with her for New Year's in Austin, Texas. I want to show you guys my process and how you guys can do this. As I showed you guys with this one, I wrote so much on here. I wrote out my goals, like one here on here is like, I will nourish my body in more ways than one. I will exercise, do the things that make my body and my mind feel good. I did some of those things. Like, I definitely got better at content. I moved to Las Vegas. I didn't get my body goals yet, but I did end up eating more clean at home. I didn't quite hit my income goal the way that I wanted to, but 2026, I'm coming for you. One of those realizations that I had, the promises that we end up keeping to ourselves end up being the things that we break the easiest, and I just always wonder why that is. 2026, I'm definitely gonna change that. I found this method to be the most successful for me. I use Canva. You can use a free version. It's easy to do. If you have the pro version, it definitely helps. But I use Canva, Pinterest, a printer. I've used Walgreens in the past. Walgreens, CVS, anything that like prints for you. If you have a printer in your building, printer at home, whatever works. I have used Elmer's glue, just like a glue stick. I just don't feel like it holds the same way that tape does. I recommend having these 5 things. Having a Canva, having a board of some sort. You can also get at Walgreens, CVS. Having accessible printer is important. Pens, glue, or tape. Like, those are the 5 things that I feel like you're gonna need. And then obviously your vision. Now we're gonna start on Pinterest. I suggest going through and actually looking at the things that you want to manifest for this next year. I personally really want to speak on stage, so I like to look for an aesthetic that kind of fits what I feel like I would look like talking on that stage. I really like this image, anything like that. The important thing is that if I find a picture that I like, basically what I do is that I make sure that I can like pick it up and drag it, and then I will drag it to my desktop. And that way I can upload that image from my desktop to Canva and make it very seamless. So And on my profile, I've saved a few different vision boards. I've saved a few that I feel like are worth it to show you guys. So this was my 6-month vision board that I put together. This was my bigger goal vision board of like manifesting a relationship, eating your healthier foods, going to more events, which I definitely did, going shopping, that sort of thing. But I think Pinterest is just great for overall looking at different boards and having different ideas. The next thing is like maybe it's like a manifesting quote. Nothing is out of my league. That's a great one. So then I'll just take that and pop it on my desktop. I like to put the photos into a folder on my desktop after the fact, just so that I have all the images that I use. Then once I put them onto Canva, it kind of changes. Right here is just kind of how I've organized them, making sure that you have kind of a couple of sections, whether it's like life, beauty, personal, business, whatever it is. It's like have some categories, kind of go back to them so you have something to reference to, so that you, however you section out your vision board, you can kind of see, oh, this is one thing, this is another. And that's just one idea. You can do it however you want, but this is the way that I do it. Next, you're going to hop into Canva. And so I'm showing you guys what I did for my 2025 vision board. If you guys want, I can put even like the check of the Bank of the Universe, because that's a big one to have in here. But basically what I did is I laid everything out, and I just well enough to print. It's basically creating a collage of images. This is how much it would be to be a millionaire, all these other things of like a YouTube partner, like that's a big one that I want to see. I have these 3. So you can do one of 2 options. Basically, you can lay it out like I did here, where I just laid out all of the pictures and then they were ready to cut out. The other thing that you can do is basically create a text for it. I've done this with friends and they've decided to do that just because it felt more resonant to them. All you do is go to the text, create a text box, and you can write dream car. So then I would go to effects, background, just for the sake of this, let's change that. Change the text to white. What I did with one of my vision boards actually is every time I was looking to highlight something that was personal, business, or like health and fitness or something like that, I actually ended up color coding a system that actually made sense for what fit in which category. So you can totally do that. Create a key for yourself so that you remember at some point in time. But this is your vision board. Like, make it entirely up to you of like what you want it to be. Then the next thing that you're gonna do is obviously just get a board, whatever size you desire. I've done 2 different ways, right? Like I've done it long ways, and then I've also done it tall. I personally thought that I liked the tall version for this better because like the contract, right? But this way gave me a lot. I put my heart and soul into this. So obviously the next step is to cut them all out, place them intentionally. I've seen vision boards so many different ways. So I've seen them where the images are all like clustered and they have like kind of a story to tell through each one. I like to have them laid out where there's different, like I can add little spaces for writing. I don't know what this year is going to look like for me, whether I'm going to cluster them or I'm going to keep it the same way. But overall, this has definitely made a difference for me. And I love doing it this way. It just gives me something beautiful to look at and always a big reminder. So I think because I created that wall, like I showed you guys, I'm really excited to like put stuff up there. I haven't had anything on that wall like the entire time I've lived here for almost a year, what it feels like. One, I thought that it would be good for just like, I have a projector, so I wanted stuff to be on the wall. But now when I walk in and I see it covered with stuff, I'm really excited to fill it up with my goals for this year. And I think I'm going to get a much bigger poster board and just go all in. I'm doing it 3 times, one probably by myself, one with my mom, one with my friend, and then probably going to do it quarterly. I don't think there's anything wrong with vision boards. I think it's a great way in visualization practice. And to me, it's very meditative because I love arts and crafts. I love kind of putting things together in a unique way. Like I love painting. So this is kind of just like that, it kind of reminds me of being a kid, cutting things up, putting things together and like placing it the way that you want. It reminds me a lot of that. So I really encourage you guys to try this. I think I'm going to do them in different categories, like I kind of mentioned in Canva. One, I think I'm going to put them all on the same page. These are some topics that I think I'm going to work with. So that's change and charity, material, travel, work and career, events, health, personal growth, people and community, brands I want to work with, journaling, lifestyle, speaking, and press. I have a feeling I'm going to go with a couple different vision board styles this year. I want to kind of go with one big collage of things and kind of put them all together like Mod Podge style. And then I also want to have one like I've designed before, just because I like that, the way that that one. If you can take these topics and run with them and really categorize what your goals are in your next 6 months to a year, we're going to have the best year ever. It really is all about planning and intentionally saying, what do I want to have happen to me this next year, and how am I going to make that happen? Just to kind of throw this in there, because I had this conversation with my coach the other morning. Vision boards is one thing, but the other part of it is actually the manifestation process. And the manifestation process comes from the feelings and emotions that you have and how you keep it. It's like asking the question, what is the real feeling and sensation, and how are you going to claim it? Because you have to map it out. And that's why I love vision boards. I love vision boards for the fact that you're thinking about how you're going to do things. You're actually intentionally putting images together like how you want to manifest it. The steps that he said is just like, what's the goal of the vision? What is the feeling that I want to have? What do I have? What have I historically done to cultivate that feeling? And then what new things can I do to amplify it? If you can create a list of some goals and things that you have alongside these photos, and then talk about the feelings, like how I have in this vision board, honestly, if I would have approached it differently and I would have taken all of this and associated it with feelings instead, I think it definitely would have some sort of like deeper impact for me. For you guys too, like that's something to think about, of like, what is the feeling that I want to have by manifesting a relationship? The feeling of being loved and supported and having someone to talk to. Great. Like, what's the ultimate feeling of that? Confidence, comfort, love, whatever it is. Really hone in on that feeling and make sure that it's associated with the intention behind what you're creating with your vision board, just because it's all about manifesting and changing your state of mind. And I'm learning that too. I'm learning about how to do that and be more proactive about it in my daily life. So I'm really going to be intentional about intensifying my practice and using these vision boards as an outlet to kind of show more of who I am and why I want to cultivate this life that I want. We're not actually going to be the it girls and the women of our dreams, or even the person of our dreams, if we don't actually take the actions and the steps to get to our future self. I'm really excited to see what you guys all come up with. If you guys try this, please let me know in the comments what you guys are doing, how you guys are going to plan out your vision board, what it's going to look like. Mine is just one blueprint, but there's so many others out there that I think that you can take advantage of. And I'm really excited to see them. So let me know in the comments if you guys try this. Follow me on Instagram and DM me some pictures if you guys end up doing them. I would love to see it. And I'll definitely circle back on what I have decided to do, and when it comes down to the 3 or 4 that I've made for this next year.